Okay, oh, my bad. Oh, boy. Can't stay quiet.
And welcome in to this holiday edition of Press Box Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of Press Box and PressBoxOnline.com. We hope everybody out there has had a good holiday and is ready for a little baseball talk before they get ready to get back to the work week. With me is my co-host, Ross Grimsley. Ross, how are you? You're good, Ross?
You there, Stan?
Yep, you're good. All right. And,
there we go. There we go.
Right. And in just a moment, everybody's gonna get a chance to see and hear the great Dennis Martinez, otherwise known as El Presidente. We want to remind you that Press Box Live is brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to get a brand new roof for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And as we say each and every time we do one of these Zooms, your roof is one of the most important and expensive pieces of your home. So you need to know the people you're dealing with. You need to like them, and you need, most importantly, to trust them. I know the people at C3 American Exteriors, and I stand behind them. Joining me now is, along with Ross Grimsley, is one of the greatest right-handed pitchers in Oriole baseball history, and that is Dennis Martinez. Dennis, thank you for taking some time out of your schedule. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I'm really
Absolutely.
happy and excited to be with the Baltimore fans.
All right. Well, you got some Baltimore fans, but I want to start real quick. On July 28th, 2021, which is 3 weeks away, roughly, maybe a couple days more than 3 weeks away, that's going to be already the 30th anniversary of your perfect game that you pitched at Dodger Stadium. And there were a couple things about that game that I was just looking up. It was kind of interesting, Dennis. The temperature that day was 95 degrees. Not exactly a day, not exactly a day that you tend to think that a pitcher is going to be able to throw a perfect game. How hot was it? Do you remember it being that hot?
Man, just the way we like it. I mean, you know, Latin kid from Nicaragua, we like warm weather.
That's
As a matter of fact, yeah, that's right. It's cool. As a matter of fact, you know, that was my hottest month of the season. When we got to June, July, and August, my man was hot. So I was okay. I was good. That was not bad at all. Oh yes. Oh yes.
The other thing I noticed in that game you pitched against another guy that pitched briefly for the Orioles, Mike Morgan. And that game lasted, he did not let up any earned runs. The final score was 2-0, Montreal over the Dodgers, and that perfect game. But that game lasted 2 hours and 14 minutes. We're usually in about the fourth inning now in ball games.
Well, hey, I got to tell you something about Mike Morgan and myself. We got duo before we got to LA. They came to Montreal, and I faced him, and I beat him 1-0 in that game. So we both had a complete game. We pitched an outstanding game. So now we came to the West Coast, right? We went to the West Coast, and we started in San Diego, and I pitched there. I won the game, and then next outing was against the Dodgers, against Mike Morgan again. So he was pitching perfect game along with me too. That's why the game was so fast. We were going 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was so fast that we didn't even know about until the 7th when we scored the 2 runs. And I saw the scoreboard and I said, wait a minute, there's no hit. They haven't got in against me. Okay, I said, you know, that's when I started noticing, and I said, wait a minute, I'm going to try to make a 1 inning longer than him. So that's the way I look at it. That's what finally we realized that we were not getting hit at all. So that was great.
Now, you noticed you had a no-hitter. Did you know that you had a perfect game going, or had that sort of got out of your head?
I didn't realize it was a perfect game until the 9th when I was on deck. I was with my jacket, as a matter of fact, because, as a pitcher, we always, try to let know the people that we stay warm. And so I had my jacket, my light jacket on. And one of the fans next to the dugout screamed at me and said, "Hey, Dennis, you know that you pitch a perfect game?" And I go, "Oh, listen to this. Look at this nerd."
He
Yeah,
said, spoken like a true Dodger fan. Yeah.
Right. Listen to this nerd. But I said, well, I will not let it bother me. So I got a base hit, and I got next to Eddie, on first base. He said, "What are you
Eddie
doing?"
Murray.
Yeah, he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Hey, man, I got a hit." Well, don't be afraid to give me something good to hit. I said, "Well, I've been giving to you too many good pitches to hit before, so not today." So
Not
we
today.
start laughing. Yeah, not today. We start laughing. So that inning went too fast. But I want to tell you one thing. In the ninth inning, I usually go back and forth into the mound running, right? So in that inning, when I step up the dugout toward the mound, I had a weird feeling in my body. I feel my leg was so heavy. I was like in slow motion going to the mound, and I feel like I never got there. And I started going, "What the hell's going on with me? I mean, Jesus Christ!" But the people start, ovating and applauding. So it's 45,000 people that were there, and I started like I was dreaming. It was weird
Wow.
feeling, man. That I was. It took me forever to get to the mound. But finally, when I got there, I said, "Wait a minute." I always, I'm a Catholic. I pray, and I say, "Well, God, man, you helped me through 8 innings, so don't be afraid. Don't let me down with the last one. Please help me out." And I threw the best pitches of that game in that 19. It was weird, man. That was great. Great.
Go ahead, Ross. I know you
All
got
right.
a couple for your old friend.
Oh yeah, Dennis, I'm going to go back. Let's go back to the beginning. You're raised in Nicaragua, and I'll throw this out. You're the first, I think, maybe the only Nicaraguan person to play in the major leagues. Is that not correct?
Well, yes, I was. I was luckily the first one, man.
The first and the only, I think. Anyway, yeah, you were raised on a farm, 7 kids. You were the youngest. How did you get started in baseball as a kid? I know you guys were, you didn't have a lot of money. Obviously, you didn't have a lot of equipment. So for a kid that was raised in Nicaragua with not a lot of stuff, how did you become the player at the amateur level?
Well, you see, Ross, that's the difference between the good player and the bad player is that when you have that heart and the hungriness and the desire to succeed, to be somebody, I guess that's really have the drive myself by not having too many things like my other friend did in school. I always envy them because they all had everything pretty much, and I didn't have that much. So I was feel like I say, okay, one day I'm gonna get, all this stuff that you guys get now, but I will at the end I will be laughing about it. So I always was with the same way that I am now, because I like to laugh, I like to joking around, I like the camaraderie with the guys, and so it was the driver, the challenge of not having to being able to get the opportunity. And in Nicaragua, when we would play ball, I was the type of kid that I want to beat everybody. I want to be number one. So if we played those any type of game, I was cheater or whatever. Anyway, I do it, but I beat them. And I ended up with everything. So if we betting money, I got the money to myself. So I was that type of the guy that I always want to beat everybody, and I think that was my drive for to be able to get to the big league. But being in Nicaragua as a little kid, we love baseball, and we did it with the socks on my brother. They all ended up in the ceiling of the roof of the houses, because we hit them there in the street, and when we hit it, they all ended up, in the roof. So my brother, sometimes they got crazy and they start, treating me bad because they say, "Man, come on, we have no socks no more left because you already lost it."
That was your baseball, right?
That was our baseball, right?
Your baseball.
Right, yeah. We wrap it in the little rock. We wrap it in the little rock, and then we play with a little stick, whatever. So, but we had fun. That was our way to enjoy it in our country. But I was lucky that I got the support from my family, my parents. They helped me out go through all the way through high school, and the same time playing for Little League. People start noticing me because I was, they always beat everybody and try to be better than everybody else. So that drive, I guess, I took it all the way through a professional level. So, and I'm here, man. Now that's like about 30 years ago. I look at the monitor now and I said, man, I don't believe that I played for 23 years in that game, pitching in that mound for 23. My God. Hey, I'm lucky, man. I feel lucky.
I remember you got called up, and I was, in the rotation, and I got knocked out one day. Your first game, I believe, you came in. Dave, I started. Dave Pagan come in. You came in, and you always had the stuff. That was not a problem. But elaborate when you got to the big leagues. I know Ray Miller was the pitching coach at the time, and I guess you were tipping your pitches a little bit, doing some different things, and I think they saw something in a video, took you in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Hey, man. Hey, Ross, I haven't got a chance to say thank you because I think you opened the door for me, man. If it wasn't for you,
you're welcome.
If it wasn't for you, man, I would not be here talking about this because
nobody, you would. Oh, you were too good.
Nobody else was getting their brains beat in, but Ross.
right, and he was a lefty, lefty, but it was true. I mean, having this guy in front of us as a starting pitcher, we came from AAA, McGregor, Flanagan, myself, and we were looking to get a chance to pitch somewhere in the big league, right? So, but all these dudes, man, pitching complete game, we have no chance to pitch in this rotation whatsoever.
Right.
But those years, this guy, Ross pitched that day, and he got, one of those games that he got hit or whatever, and Dave Pagan came in. But the strange thing was, Ross, that day in the bullpen, we had a tipper and myself. And then Cal Ripken Sr. said, Martinez up. And I go, which one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was the one, man. I was always aware, which one? And taking my jacket off. He called back and said, which one? Dennis, you up? Dennis up. Boom. I threw 4 pitches.
You're ready.
I threw 4 pitches, and it was 45 degrees because it was a little cold that day.
Right.
There was a little cold then. So, and the phone ring again, and Rick can pick up the phone and say, are you ready? And I go, oh, shit, I'm ready. 4 pitches, I'm ready. Because in my mind, I thought, wait a minute, if I say no, this guy might get a ground ball, get out the end, I might never get a chance. So I'm ready. I get 8 more pitches, the warming up on the mound, I'll be okay. So, but I want to pitch. I didn't care about what, I just want to pitch. So I got in there, right? Brooke Robinson came in, and he saw me like my leg was shaking. And he said, hey, kid, are you okay? And I said, hey, Brooks, this is my first game in the big league, man. So please help me out. He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just throw the ball. We catch it for you. I said, oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I want to hear, man. Especially from Brooke Robinson.
Right.
So I warming up, and I'm glad that Rick Dempsey too knew that my curveball was working that day. So first pitch he called curveball. I go, yes. I throw a nasty hook, man, that he left, it was like in the sky, and he dropped, and the strike zone for a strike. A strike 1. And Willie Horton took that pitch. So I threw a more curveball, and I struck him out the next 3 guys in a row. And none of them were a strike. They all were in the ground. They all were swinging through. So we went through the last, all the way to the game, and we came back, and I got my first victory in the big league. We came back, and we won that game 7-6. So, if it wasn't for you, bro, I would never get a chance to pitch that day. And that opened the door for me and show what I could do. So, but going back to your question, man, I mean, you were saying that Ray Miller was the pitcher, and I was tipping my thing. That was my second year that it happened, and I was making some great pitches in the outside corner, low and away, my curveball, nasty low and away, and they're still hitting to right center. And I go, what's going on, Ray? I mean, I was so frustrated, I almost quit because I don't know what to do. So, and then Ray went to the video, and he said, we spent like about maybe 10-15 minutes. I never saw anything. I look at anything, trying to find out anything. I didn't look nothing. So Ray come and say, hey, man, look at that. Fastball, curveball, curveball again, curveball again. I go, what? Well, all right, don't waste more time and just tell me what I'm doing there. So we can correct it now. So don't. And so he tried. I think he tried to see if I can figure it out. No, but I didn't. So he said, okay, look at your face. You do some gesture with your cheek here, and when you do a curveball, you go like this, and when you do a fastball, you don't do nothing. Holy cow! Okay, let me see. There we go. That was right there.
Yeah.
So, and then he told me, okay, I want to tell you one thing. I said, what? Do you chew tobacco? I go, no. You like to try? Yeah, why not? So I tried, man. I tried that stuff, and the next day that I was pitching on the mound, I was ready, waiting for the pitch. I was chewing. I was feeling like, I saw a lot of people like Luis Tian chewing tobacco. I feel like a Luis Tian that thing tobacco. But then I started seeing some little bird around, man. and I started getting dizzy, and I fell in my butt. So I came down and then Earl came in, Ralph Salbon came in, and Ray came in and said, "Hey, Danny, are you okay?" I don't know. I was dizzy. So and he said, "What did you do?" I said, "I don't know. Do you swallow? Do you swallow?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you're not supposed to." I said, "Well, you didn't tell me." Hey, that was funny, but that was the worst day of my life in baseball. I never swallow again.
Yeah.
Good.
But
good
that was
for you.
what you did to change that. That was a big thing that changed your career, basically.
Yeah, that was the tipping. It's like now the little tipping they do with the glove. They put like the fastball, curveball. They whatever do little thing. The hitter, they all cheated. Not cheated. They try to get advantage whatever way they can. So that was my way to view on my pitches. So I came with that, and after that, man, I was unhittable. So that was good. but I paid the price though. I mean, I didn't like it, but it was worth it though. It was worth it.
Good.
Ross always tells me the first story when he tried chew.
Oh gosh.
And he was supposed to pitch the next day, and he was starting the pitches, and he got sick as a dog. And Weaver charged back in the clubhouse and accused him of being drunk.
He said I was sleeping so I could go out.
You've been out all night. You've been out all night. Hey, Dennis, Earl Weaver, what was your relationship like with the Earl of Baltimore?
Well, you see, I was lucky that I came to the big league when we had guys like Brooke Robinson, Mark Belanger, Jim Palmer, Ross Grimsley. All these guys, they know how to carry the young kid. When I came in, they took me under the wing, and Brooksy and Cakes, we call Cakes Palmer, they came to me and said, hey kid, don't worry about Earl. They're screaming and all that stuff. He don't like rookies. He hates rookies. So don't worry about what he say. I said, oh, okay. So that was great. I mean, that was great advice for me because Earl, man, with the way he's screaming and the way that he talked to the people, he was intimidated. So I didn't care. But you know what? He got me out of me what he needed. Because if it wasn't for him, I would not be where I am now as a pitcher, as a human being, as a man. Because I guess baseball, educate yourself. It formed me what I am now because it made me realize that you got to be a man. You got to be able to accept the challenges. You have to be able to respond to adversity and everything in his life. So Earl was one of the best to know how to handle different personality, and I guess that's why Earl was one of the best. I love him. I mean, I never had any problem after that. But you know what? With Eddie Murray, it was different. He did the same with Eddie, and Eddie, man, he went downhill. Well, what happened with Earl was this. With me in Milwaukee, I was winning 5-1 in the 8th, 2 out, and I walked 2 guys. Every count, Earl, man, from the stadium. That stadium in Milwaukee I didn't like it. He threw the cigar and came down to the mound. I said, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And I go, "I'm okay." Well, you better get this another hour, otherwise you're going back to Nicaragua tomorrow. I go, holy cow. When it turned around and I go, I'm gonna show this man that I can do it.
Right.
I threw a 3 fastball to Salvando, the hardest as I could, and I struck him out. That guy. I finished the game, right? So in Milwaukee, it's a little clubhouse there. So we all take a shower and we are shaving, and then everyone behind me. We make contact, and he go, "You work." I mean,
That's him. That's so him.
Yeah, I was start laughing with him, and I go, "Holy man, look at this guy. He worked." I mean, he worked with me because I responded to him, right? But he did it with Eddie, and Eddie went quiet for a month. He cannot hear himself. So and then he said, "Hey, Cal, come here. You had Eddie in the minor league, right?" I said, "Yes." "Well, why don't you talk to him and take care of him, because I'm not going to talk to him for the rest of my life." So Cal said, "Okay." So Cal went in and talked to young Eddie, and young Eddie started hitting and respond. He never talked to Eddie again.
Right.
But that was Earl. I mean, he found any way he could to make everybody out to produce.
Yep.
Hey, Dennis, fast forward a few years later, when you became a Montreal Expo, you ended up playing most of your Expo career for Buck Rogers. And Buck Rogers, I got to know him a little bit. I thought he was a great baseball man. It's pretty clear that he got blackballed for some things against Commissioner Seelig and all this. But your relationship with Buck Rogers.
Well, you see, that was another thing too that I was, I say lucky, because I mean, to have a lot of good manager to play for, I mean, that's a bless, man, because I played for Earl, I played for Buck Rogers, and then I played for Felipe Alou, and the only one maybe I hate to say this, but I have to say, my heart girl, he wasn't, but we did it because we had a great team. But and then I had a Bobby Cox at the end with the Braves. But the Buck Rogers, I mean, it was nice, gentleman guy. He was a good man. You never see him furious or mad or upset. He always have a laugh in his face. So I guess they all have different personality, and they all have a way to deal with the players. So I like him too, because he made me came in and I feel like I was embraced. But him and Larry Bernard, man, he told me what I need to hear in that moment.
He was your pitching coach in Montreal, right?
Yes. When I got traded from the Orioles to the Expos, I cried like a baby, right? Because I thought that they don't like me anymore. I feel like an isolated kid. I mean, I thought that I was going to start with the Orioles, finish with the Orioles, but it didn't happen. And Belanger came to me and said, "Hey, man, listen to this. Maybe the Orioles, they don't just, believe in you, but look at it this way, that all the team believe in you and they want to give you the opportunity. And remember, this is a business." So I go, "Okay." You see, that's what I'm talking about. The Oriole people, I mean, they took me and know how to deal with me and handle me the right way. So I took it that way. I went to Montreal, and the first thing that I got there, Larry Bernard said, and came to me and say, "Hey, Dennis, you've been in the league for a while. I don't have to tell you anything. Just do whatever you do and do what you've been doing best for these 10 years that you've been in the big leagues." I go, "Holy cow, that's all I need to hear." And I start blossom, man, because I say, well, I can be my own teacher. I don't have to have no more teacher anymore behind me. I have my back, do this, do that. I hate that. Yeah. So that was the key for me when I got to Montreal, to have Larry Bernard and Buck Rogers.
Ross, you got a couple.
Oh, yeah. Dennis, one of the things, you win double digits victories 15 times in your 23 years, 200 plus innings 9 times, which is amazing. Wow. 1978, 276 innings. I hear you. I see you. 79, 292 innings. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. You won 245 games, more than any Latin American pitcher until Bartolo Colon in 2018, I believe. One of the things were you ever on the disabled list?
Yes, for a short period of time, though. I only have tendonitis. You see, that was another thing too. I mean, hey, I don't know, man. It's a strange thing that I think faith, and I'm that type of the guy that even though I did my thing like any other kid, you know, when you're young, you do a lot of crazy things, you go out, drink and party and all that stuff. But I was always the type of person that I was wonder about it, what happened if this would happen to me, or I always was concerned about don't get into trouble, too deep trouble. I always was aware, you know, those little things. But as a Catholic that I am, and faith, we went to Europe with the Nicaraguan team at one point, right? And then I hear that we're gonna go and see the Pope. All right. Do you know what? As soon as I hear that we're gonna see the Pope, I go and say, well, I'm gonna ask him to bless my arm. So I got it. I got it in somehow. I was the youngest guy in that Nicaraguan team, right? So you know, we all look the Nicaraguan team, and you know, you never expect to be around the Pope in Rome. So all of a sudden I go, Pope, can you bless my arm? and he touched my head. He go, yes, and he did it.
No, my arm.
Yeah. So I look at it like well, that's the reason that I didn't get hurt that much, because you know, made the willingness to go that extra length to ask him in my faith, you know, to feel like if I do that, I will be blessed, and for a reason I want to, you know, I want to do good. I don't know what is in my mind, but I mean, looking back and I go, well, that was the reason then that I didn't get hurt, because
Dennis,
I was.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was so flexible. I stretch out a lot. I run a lot.
Yep.
We did the right thing with the organization. One of the best doing those little things, and Earl make us that way, because I remember always say that, hey, after you throw the ball to the home plate, you got to become another infielder and be the best that you can be, like a cat. I go, okay, like a cat then.
Yeah, there you go.
So
no, you did. Yeah, I tell you, we ran a lot. We ran and ran and ran, and that's one of the reasons. I think something else. I mean, if you had a couple things to tell pitchers now, because you had longevity, you pitched a lot, you threw a lot of pitches. I mean, you a lot of innings. What advice would you give a young pitcher in this day and age?
Well, like I say, I mean, one of the first things is your legs. I mean, you have to run. You have. I don't care if they do it bench press or leg press. I don't believe in that stuff. I never did that much, but I did believe in running, because that's all I knew. I mean, that's the Orioles way. I mean, and it worked. And those years, that's what we did. We ran like a horses. So and we threw like I don't know, man. I threw every day. I pitched a complete game today. Tomorrow I've been throwing bullet on the bull. I mean, in the outfield with another. But I play catch every day. So I didn't put ice. That was the key for me too. I never ice. Planning and myself, we never ice. So we were pretty good with that. So I think all those ingredients, that was the cause of me. Well, and also when I did my bullpen, I always took seriously, like I preparing for my next outing. You know, all those little things. I guess my stretching was the main part for me. Stretching. I always dedicated to the stretching, because the preparation for the spring training, because I thought that was the main cause for me to stay healthy through the season. Yes, to prepare myself during spring training, because you know, when you on the field stretching out, you're joking around. Hey, what did you do last night, man? Oh, I went out. Oh yeah, and the time go by, and they stay in one place. They never change that position. So I look at the way I say, hey man, put attention to this, bro, because it's not me. You have to put your mind into what you're doing, because otherwise your body will not get used to that. And then some people they listen. There's some people they never listen. But I did it correctly, man, and I think that's the key, to dedicate yourself, to put into it. And one of the things, Ross, that I can say is that you have to take the game as a love from your heart. And I think that's part of me coming from a different country, hungry. You know, I was in the situation, do or die. That I always feel like I was competing every year. That I always thought that, because all those cliches that they tell me and the Orioles, I took it personally. They say, hey man, always some young kid looking after your job.
Yeah.
And I go, oh shit, I will not let nobody take my job away from me.
Hey,
I-
hey, Dennis, when you got to see the Pope, did you give any thought to asking him to bless Ross Grimsley's arm?
No, because he never had a problem with his arm either.
No.
I mean, you see, that was not the case with Ross either, because for some reason we didn't have not too much arm
That's
problem.
great.
And
No.
the only guy was Cakes. I don't know, for some reason. And he say, "Oh, because I'm getting old." I said, "Okay."
Hey, looking at who you played with, you played a little bit with Andre Dawson. You played with Tim Raines. You played with Larry Walker on the Expos. And on the Orioles side, you played with Brooks Robinson and you played with Palmer. So you know a little something. You also played briefly with the Expos with the young Andy Johnson. So you know a little something about what Hall of Famers smell like, what they look like. How close was Dennis Martinez to being great enough to be in the Hall of Fame consideration? And do you think that you still could get considered for Hall of Fame consideration?
You know, I think that's a big achievement that we never thinking about that when we're playing. At least myself, I always try to be the best that I could be. And we go again, I always go back with the cliche that I remember with Ray Miller one time. And I say, hey man, I pitched real well the year before, right? And I didn't get a chance to be the opener pitcher the next year. Or year after, that year, he was Palmer again. I go, hey Ray, come here, man. How come I'm not the starting pitcher for this season? And so he said, hey man, listen. Well, Jim Palmer, is Hall of Fame for time went. Yeah, but I had a good year last year. I saw you say that whoever got a good year, the next year is going to be the starting pitcher for that season. I deserve that. So, well, your time will come. So, oh man. So I got upset with that. But he say to me, hey Dennis, listen to this. No, you are number one in the time that you pitch. That stood for me. That's all I need to hear. He said, he is number one right now because it's the opening pitcher, right? He said, yeah, I want to be number one. I said, well, you're going to be number one day after tomorrow. Maybe, I was the second or third starting pitcher. So you're going to be the number one the day that you pitch. And I go, okay, that makes sense to me a lot. That erased everything. My thought about having those type of problem, when I was looking like a selfish in a way,
Right,
because
right.
I want to be, but I didn't took it that way. I took like a competitiveness, not because I hate cakes or I hate, no, it's because I want to be number one, and
Right.
there's nothing wrong to
Not
be
a
like
thing.
that.
No.
Right. So and I understood too to be competitive with my teammate, and I compete with the other, and every team that I went, I compete with every starter because I want to do better than he did yesterday. Let's say if Ross was pitching tonight and I'm pitching tomorrow, I keep the charge and I read everything what Ross doing with the hitters, and I can learn something from him what he did with the hitters, and I hope he's pitching well so we can win the game. But then when my day come tomorrow, I say, well, he did it good. He threw a shot out. Well, no, let me throw another shot out then and continue this thing. You see what I'm saying? That's the way when you compete constructively. So and I took it that way because I think that's the only way you can look at it. So being around those guys and the Hall of Fame thing, to me, the satisfaction that I get was to be accountable for my team every 5 days. That was my pride. That I look at it like I say, well, these people pay me to play the game that I love to play. So I have to give them back. So I don't want them to feel like they pay me for nothing. So that was my pride for me to prepare myself every 5 days, and that's what I was. So with doing that, I accomplished myself and I did what I have to do, and I'm happy for the result. Now, if that happened, hey, that's welcome. I'm okay. I'm gonna still continue to live and laughing with this guy because being with Ross and Stenhouse when we playing golf, man. These people, they drive me crazy. I never laughed that much until I see this guy again. So I can't wait to see those guys to be around with, because there's two guys that right and lefty, Stenhouse and Ross, and I'm in the middle. Oh my God, I'm in trouble.
Hey, I got two quick things to ask you about that are kind of current in baseball today. Are you following what's going on now with the inspecting of the pitchers when they come off the mound to make sure they're not using sticky substance to keep on the ball? They grab the ball better. Are you following that?
I saw that the other day, but I didn't know what it was until somebody told me that they say somebody got called because they found a lot of vaseline or something in the neck. So I go, wait a minute. Hey, but remember, I don't know if it was 2 years ago, a kid from New York, that you see a black mark.
Michael Pineda.
Right.
He had it on his arm, I think.
I don't know. I think he was so obvious. You can see that. And I go, wait a minute. What's wrong with this guy? They don't even know how to hide this stuff. I bet you if you ask Ross, he might tell you, hey man, I put it under my head.
I'm taking a fifth. I'm not saying nothing.
Did you ever need anything? Did you ever need anything to get a grip on the ball?
Hey, I tried that in the winter. I tried one time in the winter because it was so cold, right? You didn't get good grip on the ball.
Right.
And my best pitch was my curveball. So I get hit. I was the type of pitcher that when it was cold, because I wasn't able to throw my curveball, because I didn't have good grip. So I hang in that curveball and I get hit bad. So I have to stick with I have to stick with the fastball and changeup. And at the big league, man, in those times you cannot survive with two pitches. So I tried one time and I asked Errol, you gotta help me, man. I say, what? The ball is slipping in my hand. I say, okay, don't worry, I take care of you. I say, okay. So Errol put some Panther in his glove, I guess. And he got one of them, do it like this, and throw it back to me. So I got the ball, I go, holy cow, what's this? Okay, I got it. And I tried the ball, when I pitched, I tried to throw the ball and I almost hit my feet. So I got, wait a minute. I don't know how to throw this.
Yeah.
So I never tried that after that.
You were not a good cheater. You're not a good cheater.
No.
Not a good cheater. Hey, the last question I have for you. One of the things that's coming down the pike in baseball is we're going to have electronic balls and strikes being called by a machine. It's going to allow for you to know as a pitcher what the strike zone is the same each day. Do you like that or you don't like that?
No, I don't like it at all. And I have something to tell about that, because I remember when I came to the big leagues, I was a young puppy, right? A rookie. And I have Yo West behind the mound. You know Yo West, Ross?
Yeah.
Still there. He's still there.
Yeah, he's still there, right? Yeah, but Yo West, now he started more, more easy going. Before, man, he was, oh my God, nobody want to talk to him. So, and one time, he missed a pitch, a strike three for somebody, I don't know who it was. And he said, ball. And I go, what was that pitch? And he go, hey, I'm calling the game. You just throw the ball. Okay. So next pitch, same pitch, strike. And I go, oh yeah, okay. So after the game, he came to me and said, hey kid, remember, I'm the lead for a while. So you just got here. So don't ever show me off in front of the people. I said, I didn't try to show you off. I just tried to make sure, to see what your strike zone was. Oh, okay, well, I let you know when my strike zone. Do you remember that I called a strike the next pitch? I said, yeah. Why do you think I called a strike the next pitch? Because you were consistent there. And you tried to prove me that I was wrong. So I like that. I go, okay, thanks a lot, Joe. So he explained a little them, other umpire too, and I realized that because there's some umpire that they tell you up, down, away, or something like that. There's some other umpire, they don't even tell you anything. So, and the reason that I asked them, because I want to make sure what was the strike zone was, what the strike zone of them that day, because there's some days they're up, some days down, sometimes inside. I have a pulley. I remember Jim Pulley or something, Pulley. I was talking about 15 guy in St. Louis one day. And the reason why, because Jim Pulley, he cannot see inside against left-hander. So St. Louis had all those left-hander, Coleman, McGee, Hare, Ossie Smith. Everybody was left-hander in that lineup, right? So I had a Fitzgerald behind the plate, and we throw some couple of good pitches inside, just inside middle for a strike three. He didn't call, and I go, "Hey man, what's up?" And he say, "Hey," he told Fitzgerald to come in and tell me, "Hey, tell Dennis that I cannot see the inside corner against lefty, but I can see everything outside." So Fitzgerald came to me and said, "Hey Dennis, Paulie say that don't worry about the inside pitcher because he cannot see well, but he can see real well in the outside corner." Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, okay. So
Outside.
yeah. So, and he was giving me pictures like this outside, man, that the hitters get big time. So, but I continue to use inside to keep those hitters honest, because if I didn't do that, you know, stay away, you know, you're not doing the right thing. So I continue to keep them honest. Okay, and then I go away out there. Let's try three. I say, yeah. So, you know, that's the relationship sometimes that you want to get from the umpire. That, you know, it's always fun to do that, and I like it that way better. Now with this, like you're saying, I don't think it is appropriate. But then, hey, that's what he's living now, man.
Yeah,
that's the way we are now. I mean, I would not be able to be at the big leagues if I was pitching right now too, because the alignment thing. Can you imagine? Big Papi, I talked to him the other day. Hey, Big Papi, what's up? What do you think about the pitchers now? Man, they dumb. Why you say that? But why? Because they know that they pitch me as a pull hitter, right? What do you think that I'm looking for inside? You say, and I say, well, yeah, you better look inside. But you see too, they don't even have an idea. They don't know how to pitch inside. So they make a mistake, they leave right there, and I just go deep. So I say, well, and I say, you know what? You will not get a hit against me, bro. I said, why not? He said, well, because I will throw you way in, and I will throw that fish in the outside little corner and outside for the right. And I know you will try the pull right.
Yeah.
So, but you see, and the reason that I said I will not be pitching this time, because can you imagine? I mean, not having nobody covering the right side of my infield, and I have a left-hander that I can throw outside for him to not pull the ball and try to hit the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be in big trouble pitching now, man.
Along with a lot of other people.
Right. Yeah.
Dennis, we really appreciate your being on. We've gone 10 minutes over what we told you you'd get out of here. We really appreciate your time. I know you only did it because Ross asked you.
No, I'm okay now. I don't know. I mean, we can still go. You see, that's what happened. That's what happened. When you get me going,
Ross,
you cannot get rid of me.
You got one more, Ross? One or two more?
Dennis, I know you when you got your last year was 98. I think you coached a little bit with some different teams. I know you are the Nationals Futures. You were with that in 2019. You managed that. Did you want to get back in baseball? I know you did, but then, you weren't around as long as probably you wanted to be, or did you want to be around baseball any longer?
Right now, you mean, or when I retire?
After you retired, you coached a little bit, you were with the Orioles a little bit, and I think we were with Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Did you, or the Cardinals too? You were with the Cardinals, I believe. Did you want to stay in ball, or is that something that you just didn't like, or you liked it and you wanted to stay in? What are your feelings about that?
Well, you see, as a player, I could play for a couple more years as a reliever, but I didn't like it. They didn't look at me as a starting pitcher anymore. So I said, wait a minute, I'd rather to leave this game with my head up than people feel sorry for me just for the fun to be in the game. No, so I retired then. But when I retire, I said, wait a minute, now let me enjoy my family. I did it for maybe 10 years, I think, and it was too long, I guess, because, you remember that cliche we say, what you have done for me lately? So I think I think those 10 years, kind of people forget about Dennis Martinez. So, and when I tried to get back, because somebody called me, I think the Cardinals, Jeff Luno called me to help with the pitcher. And since it was in Jupiter, I helped him out with the pitcher. And then I started getting the urge a little bit again. But just the time that you had to put as a coach, man, I thought that, wait a minute, that's too much. I mean, these people, they want me to be in the game just from 9 o'clock in the morning all the way to 12 o'clock at night, all day. And I said, what's the rest of my life? I mean, I need to live my life. I pay my
smart move.
I pay my dues in the big league, and now at least I want to retire and enjoy my life, because I like to, when I was a player, I like to get up in the morning, have my breakfast, go a little shopping, go around, see the city a little bit, and then go. I never went to the ballpark before the bus. Eddie and myself, we always took the bus. They say 4:45 the bus. We were 4:40 right in the bus right there. We never leave. We never went early or we never went late. We always was on time. So I like to enjoy that. And but now as a coach, man, there's a lot of time you got to put it. And plus, they don't pay you enough. They don't pay you good salary with that stuff. No, that's not fair. It's not right. So no, but that's not the reason. No, it's not the reason.
Right.
Then they get back. I didn't think I would be able to put up with all this new technology stuff and alignment and stat and because you talk to people and you feel like they know everything, and then you say, wait a minute, how long do you play? No, I never play. I said, well, why you tell me then? So that kind of get to me, because some people they're just telling me something about baseball where they didn't have a play, they have no clue. So I rather stay quiet and say, okay, let's move on. Let them have the game. So that was the reason that I wanted to stay away from that. But I like to watch it still. I pitch it. Sure. I always pitch, when I watch the game.
Hey, Dennis, I've got to ask you a question. In Press Box, which is the publication I work with, I'm part owner of it. We did something last year on our best of issue. Didn't you do something pretty special to help doctors and nurses back in Nicaragua during the pandemic? Could you talk a little bit about that and how special that was to you?
Well, you see, it's been 3 years since 2018 when the youth in my country, in Nicaragua, the young people, they want to have a change. They want to have a new government. They have change the government that has been in our country. And so during the pandemic process too, I've been raising my voice, supporting the youth movement. I believe in that too. That is, nobody can be in power for more than 10, 15, 20 years or 40 years, like a dictatorship type of thing. So I'm raising the voice for the youth, because I believe in them. They're the future, man. They are the future. So with the pandemic thing, yes, we did some here in the state. We talked to a lot of people, organizations, to raise funds to help the medical people in Nicaragua, because they're the front line, man. They were the players. They were the people that they were exposing their life.
They were number one every day. They were number one every day.
Correct. And they needed the support, because our government there, they didn't care about them. They were not giving their supply that they needed to. So they were dying too. So we kind of, did something for them and brought all the stuff that they needed, the supply for them, the equipment and everything else. So, but I'm still here raising my voice for the youth too, regarding to see if we can get election in November 7th this year, to see if we can change what is going on in our country. So otherwise, you will be going to Nicaragua and play golf tournament with us down there. It was a beautiful. We had it 2 times. We had 2 times to golf tournament down there. Ross, he was going to be invited the next year, but then that's what happened. I don't know, Ross. I don't know. Too bad, man. But you should enjoy it, man. That was beautiful. Kenny, Eddie, Bombry, all those guys had a great time. They enjoyed it, and we were really happy to have them there. They love it, and the people still remember them. They
Yeah.
still they still remember them there, and hopefully when everything changed, so we're gonna do it again, and we all go there. Stan,
Great.
you invited too to go, man.
I'm there for you, Dennis. I'm there for you. Hey, Ross, you got one more for Dennis, and then we will let him get out of here.
Yeah, Dennis, I know you did a lot in Nicaragua. What is the, do you have a foundation that you're a part of, that you run your own foundation here in the States?
I did in '98
Yeah.
when we had a problem in our country, and then it's been like about maybe a year that I stopped it because you know, it was not a reason to have therefore with this problem situation that we are in our country. So but now I'm involved with the Cool Kid campaign
Right.
that we're gonna, you know, stick together with that, and we have another organization, Hola, that is helping in Nicaragua also. So I'm supporting those organizations to help raise some funds for the kids, for the
Right.
cancer kid, and also for the education in our country that they need it. They need it. We need those kids to have a chance to educate themselves, because that's one of the problems in our country. That, to me, the education is the factor why those dictatorship in power, because they keep the population not well educated. So and we with that, but yeah, right now I just know the Dennis Martinez Foundation is not anymore. But who knows? Maybe one of these days, man, after everything changed in our country, maybe I will do something bigger and try to help as much as I can to
Great.
to collaborate in my country. So
Great.
Well,
we'll see, man.
I wanted to applaud you for that, the things you did during the pandemic to help the doctors and the nurses down there in Nicaragua on the front line. Was really, that's great stuff, Dennis. Great stuff. Listen, 245 major league victories, 100 with the Montreal Expos, looks like 108 with the Orioles. A great career, and one that is right there to me. I think deserving of Hall of Fame consideration. But that we'll debate that another day. All right.
All right, my man.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dennis.
I
All
just
right.
want to remind you, and you can sign out, Dennis. I just want to remind you, everybody, that Press Box Live has been brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. If Dennis Martinez or Ross Grimsley need a roof on their house, they got to know
We
and
may
like
need
and
one.
trust the people. All right, I know.
We may need one. Hope
C3America.com.
not.
I know the owners of C3America.com. I trust them, and go to their website, C3America.com. For Dennis Martinez, Ross Grimsley, I'm Stan the Fan. I'll see you Wednesday night when Gary Stein and I will be joined by former Johns Hopkins and Towson University lacrosse coach Tony Seaman on a very special topic. We'll see
Let's
you
go,
then.
Oz. Let's go,
Yes.
Oz.
Let's
Yeah.
Thanks, Dennis. Love you, buddy.
Love
All
you.
right, man.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.